Hi there. Today we are going to talk about barre class. So maybe you go to a barre class, maybe you're taking a barre class online, maybe you're doing the uber popular Barre Blend, which I love. I'm going through Barre Blend myself for a second time. And it can so be progressive for you. It seems like when you go to a barre class that it's going to be easy because it looks so girly and it's like a bunch of toe touches and super light weights. Well, those super light weights get really heavy when you're holding them out like this for minutes at a time, right? So I want those specifically talk about Diastasis Recti and your barre class or Barre Blend because I get a lot of questions on it. I'm going to do a quick review and then we're going to practice a few things. So first of all, if you're going to a barre class or if you're taking a barre class online or Barre Blend, please know that you are in charge of your body. And it's such a message that I've been trying to send out for so long, and people think that the instructor is in charge of what they're supposed to be doing, and that is not the case. You are in charge of your body, and you choose what level you take every class. Now, specific to diastasis recti and several other injuries that can be so confusing for people is that you can do the work, you can do the sit-ups, you can do the double leg lifts, but should you? Not if it's going to make your injury worse, right? So there's that level of, yes, I'm strong enough to do this, but no, I really shouldn't do this because it's going to make my injury worse. It's going to set me back in my fitness. And isn't the whole point to move forward in your fitness? So again, I'm going to ask you to really take charge of your own body and to know what's best for you. Depending on what part of the book you're on or what part of the course or whatever, you should know what modifications you're supposed to be using. And if you don't, then you need to start there. And you need to go through the method and then do the exit protocol, and that helps you learn what you're supposed to be doing at this specific time. And then every few weeks you do the exit protocol again so that you can update your modifications. People ask me, well, do I have to modify this way forever? The answer is no, because your body is going to continue to progress as you recover from your injury or any other problems that you're having. And then you progress with that. Change is moving forward, right? So keep that in mind as well. When you go to a barre class or if you're taking one online or whatever, the whole like everybody postpartum needs to be taking barre is a little counterintuitive because it's not modified for postpartum. They just say that it's good for postpartum, and it is if it's modified for postpartum. I'm sorry if that confused you. But the whole point is do the methods that work for your body because you want to heal, recover, move forward, and be more fit, okay? So what are our rules? If you're laying on your back, your head and shoulders need to be on the floor, and at least one foot needs to be down. When you're in plank, at least one knee needs to be down. We'll keep all of the shoulder work to here and below, and no twisting. That's your bare basic minimum modifications. But as you go through the system and you go through the exit protocol, your modifications are going to change as you move forward. Cool? So let's do a few things. I'm going to use this chair as a pretend bar, and we're going to do some standing core work first, and then we're going to do some line core work. So what's my point? When you're taking your barre class, you can use any of this when the instructor has you doing things that aren't on your list yet, right? Okay, so let's stand up. Let's use a bar or a chair that goes, I wish this one were just a little bit higher, like it'd be more comfortable if it was up here, but this will do for now. Now, when you have your bar or when you have your chair, make sure that you're not leaning on it. Make sure that you're not like gripping it. That's not the point. The point is just balance. The point is that your hand is here just for that extra little bit of balance, not to lean on it or grasp it. Did you see what just happened to my alignment? So what's always number one? Alignment, top of the head, ears, shoulder, ribs, top of the hip, top of the thigh bone, right? And we're lengthening the spine by pressing down and pulling up in this section and up through the back, top of the head. Shoulder blades lay flat down on the back. We breathe into our lungs. That's number 2 is breathing. Exhale. Pull the belly button up and in, breathe. Exhale. And then the C is for core engagement. Now, I'm going really quick through the ABC method. If you haven't read the book or you haven't done the course, this is new to you, go through the ABC method. Core engagement, drawing the navel up and in, zip up something too tight from your inner thighs all the way to your sternum, and it stays that way. Now, when we talk about alignment and start doing standing core work, a lot of times people will lose that alignment right away. Stay up. So first things first, what if we just march? What if we're just lifting? And you've probably seen your bar teacher do this, lifting the knee and pointing the toe. So from the side, notice that I'm not hunching over to lift my leg higher. I'm just lifting my knee, and every time I lift the leg, I pull the navel up and in. It's like this part of my body is controlling a lot of what my leg is doing. That is a big part of your core engagement. So it's just a simple march, right? And you might be adding arms as well to this simple march. Now, we're gonna do some of those simple toe touches to the side, to the front first. So when you're doing toe touches to the front, a lot of times, again, people will want to hunch and reach for that toe. That's not the point. The point is to keep your alignment, keep your core engagement, keep your breathing accurate, and you just go as far as you can. So my hamstrings are not flexible enough for me to lift my leg all the way to my hand, so I'm not going to. I'm just gonna go this far because that's what I can reach. My core is controlling the muscle, and then a lot of times in bar class you have this turnout, right, where you're lifting the toe and the inner thigh is actually lifting. Let me show you from back here so that you can see a little bit better. So I'm lifting with the toe pointed and the hip turned out slightly, but I'm not hunching my body to reach my toe. It's just strong and straight through the leg. Another one that you can do from standing position that feels really good is the leg press. So lifting that knee like you're doing those little marches, but put your hand on your thigh and push on it without moving. So if you want to really slow down and really get some core work in, that's one to really increase your core engagement. Okay, let's do the little side things. So really good for the obliques down the side of your body. Reach up with one arm. Now remember, the hand goes up, the shoulder goes down, not up. Shoulder goes down. Relax and press the shoulders down your back, not up here. So if you have that issue where your shoulder is stuck to your pec, this is a good time to really open that up. Also, I've learned from my ballet friends, you always want to think about pulling your tricep up. You never want to just let it droop. Pull your tricep up. All right, so we're reaching and we're turning the toe out and we're bringing the knee and the elbow towards each other. I am not doing a side crunch. I am lifting and bringing the elbow and the knee towards each other by controlling the area of my abdominals. Okay, I'm not holding any weight in my hand, so I'm not breaking the shoulder weight rule. If you are holding a weight and you want to do more with shoulders, then you're here. And you're bringing the weight under the leg. So that is an idea as well. Okay, let's do some floor work. I'm gonna move my camera down a pinch so that you can see my mat. So lots of times in your bar class, you're gonna end up on the floor. What do you do to lay on your back? You roll onto your side first, and then you roll onto your back. And then you're gonna keep your head and your shoulders flat down on the ground. So if everybody else is in C-spine, everybody else is halfway sitting up, that doesn't matter. You're taking care of you. This is your basic. Shoulders are flat against the ground. All the ribs are against the ground. The spine is against the ground. You tuck your tailbone under you so that you can feel that lower back kiss the floor. And there are so many things that you can do from this position. You can do those leg presses that we talked about from standing. You can do them from lying. You can do your bridges, which are just the most incredibly healthy thing. Tucking the tailbone under and lifting and peeling the spine off the floor. Now watch here. When you get here, most people want to extend their back and try to get higher. I don't want your ribs to get higher. I want your hips to be higher. So the hips are always ahead of the ribs. The ribs stay down. So you tuck the ribs down and tuck the hips up more than you think you need to. And then when you set them back down, the hard part is the lower back. So you're really going to tuck that tailbone under and get the lowest part of the back to just kiss the floor one vertebra at a time, right? If it's clunky at first, that's why we practice. Just want to practice that a few times. Now here's another one that I love from this position. Lift the right leg up, put it right up over your hip bone, put it in a 90-degree angle. Left arm is going to go over the left shoulder. Release that leg, tummy is holding it in. Now we're just going away, we're going back in. This is half of a dead bug. So you might be doing a full dead bug in your class. To modify it, you do half of a dead bug. And here's what else you can do. You can go out to the side with the half dead bug, and it completely changes the challenge in the core muscles. Make sure that you're not rocking side to side. When both sits bones back and down, pelvis is stable, shoulders are stable. You can do a million things from this position, lifts and lowers and circles and all kinds of things, one leg at a time. The other leg needs to be supporting you on the floor. Now, lots of things happen in bar class that are from plank. What does your plank look like? Well, for most people just starting out, your plank looks like a quadruped. It looks like all fours. Put your hands underneath your shoulders. Back is nice and long, neck is nice and long. Lift out of the shoulder joint. Tuck the tailbone under you more than you think you need to until you feel the navel pulling up and in towards the spine. So in other words, a lot of times we fall. I want you to lift that lower back, pull the navel up and in. And a really great exercise from here is isometric presses. We get those knees back just a little bit. They're right under the hips, navel's pulled up and in, spine is long. Breathe. Exhale and press all your weight onto your toes without moving anything else. And just feel that core really pull up and in. The entire core has to catch fire here to hold you stable. When you breathe, release the pressure, and then when you exhale, press back. So that's a great warm-up. Now, bird dogs are great from this position as well, and that is opposite arm, opposite leg. What happens when we start to lift arms and legs? We lose alignment, right? So you have to be really conscious and aware of what we just practiced. Put your weight onto the foot that's stabilizing you on the floor, and then we do opposite arm, opposite leg without lifting so high that it ruins our alignment. So reach out nice and long, lift the belly, lift the lower back, and then set it down. And same thing on the other side. So push-ups are great from here, or you can move your knees back if you're ready to, but when you move those knees back, again, the lower back is going to want to do that. Pull that lower back up, tuck the tailbone under you more than you think you need to, and keep everything super solid and straight. This should feel like a major core exercise right here. If it doesn't, then I need you to scoop up more. Okay, so this is regular, this is scooped up, pulling that navel up and in, and then you can do all kinds of push-ups from this position. I hope I gave you some ideas today. There's a million different ways to do core work in your bar class or while you're watching your bar video. If you need more help, my book, Flatten My Postpartum Belly, is available on Amazon, and my course, the Diastasis Recti Recovery System, is available on Udemy. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm glad to help you. I always have a group going through group training with me, and personal training is available. Thank you.